students. Teacher assessment also is important because the teacher diagnoses strengths and weaknesses and provides reinforcement and constructive feedback individually and encourages and motivates the learner to study more like a mother. So the teacher's main role is just like a mother, tolerating some problems and help the students improve and start improving from the most important problem. And another topic is interlanguage. So a language teacher should be aware of interlanguage problems of the students, especially with A2, B1, and even B2 level students. So I just call this muddy field. No one can go through from L1 to L2 by flying over it. They just walk through it, which means they make a lot of mistakes. I mean, in fact, Selinker came up with this idea in 1972, almost 50 years ago. But still, I realized that in the assessment, especially in teaching, the teachers tolerate interlanguage problems, but in the assessment, it's not tolerated. That's really discouraging for the learners. So there is one quote from Indian philosophers: "You cannot change the root, but you can change the rate." How? By giving constructive feedback. And according to Selinker, interlanguage is based on two types of errors: L1 transfer and development errors. Maybe we have come across with our students a lot. For example, in pronunciation, we don't have full sound in Turkish. For example, it's not thank you, they say, but thank you. We don't have W sound, so it is yellow rather than yellow. Or we don't have sound, but they say street rather than street. And they can read this I don't know rather than, because we don't have muted sound, so that's I don't know. And in word level, they can L1 transfer like drink a cigarette rather than smoke a cigarette, because drink and smoke with the same verb in Turkish. And open the computer, because open and turn on, we use the same verb. So that's why they just transfer it from L1. And picnic in the jungle, and they don't recognize whether the jungle and forest and wood are three different things. And in sentence level, they usually drop is, prepositions, auxiliaries, articles. So we can come across this kind of things in their speech and in their writing. My stomach hungry. My mother, rather than I am hungry, because in Turkish we say my stomach hungry is hungry. So in English, in Turkish we say karnım acıktı. So they just translate it from L1 rather than saying I'm hungry. And my mother's housewife rather than is housewife. Today, Friday, air sunny, because we drop is in Turkish, so they drop it in English as well. And they drop, for example, preposition. We came here Monday rather than on Monday, because that develops later. And we don't use plurals with the numbers in Turkish, so there are 5 books on the table rather than 5 books on the table. So that is L1 transfer problems. And we have development errors. I think it happens with even native speaker children. For example, they add S for pluralization. So books, girls, boys, houses, cars. So why not childs? No, why not foods? Why not toots? Huh? Then they make this kind of mistake. Rather than children and foods, they say foods. But also we have double plurals like children's, men's, women's. Still they add S, and which is normal process, which means they are learning. And we have possessive adjective problem like Ali car, Jack mobile phone, I sister rather than my sister. And irregular verb problems: goat, drink, eat it, wake up. They are all regular forms. And ignorance of simple present tense third person s. My mom make a cake every day rather than makes a cake. Or Ece like computer games means rather than Ece likes. So all the exceptions in English will turn out as mistakes, Chomsky says. So first they will learn the general rule, then by being exposed to comprehensible, I wouldn't say comprehensible input, but by being exposed to native speaker language, by the time they will develop their language. And if you just look at the processability model by Cook, first they produce as follow frastic, like go, play, meet, book, etc. Then we have two-word sessions. Take it, open book, come here. And we have small chunks like did go work, we play game. We have then telegraphic speech. How can we explain the telegraphic speech to our students now? Why? Because we don't use telegraphs anymore.
Yeah.
But still, I give some examples like we came Friday, mom not
I'm not
home.
home. Mm,
Yeah, this kind of speech are telegraphic speech.
yeah.
And we have simple sentence structure. That's the fifth phase. Open your book. I'm playing the guitar right now. And finally, they reach complex sentence structure. So if the teachers are aware of this, if they are knowledgeable about this, the processability in the brain, so they tolerate their students and then they do not punish them for their mistakes. It's very crucial. Uh, for example, there are some students production. My name Ahmet Okan from Denizli. I am 18-year-old. I have black hair and brown eye. I like pop music and my favorite singer Mustafa Ceceli. I very much like him songs. See, there are a lot of problems, but still, can we understand the passage?
Yeah.
Yes, it is meaningful. It is
Yeah.
contextual, and the student respond to the content. So that's why I wouldn't punish the student in the exam because of his mistakes. Still, he will get a good mark. Another one, my father named Ali Okan. He's farmer and he 45-year-old. He live in Izmir. He have got gray short hair and brown eye. He like play football. Wonderful. Because when I tell my students, introduce your family member, I tell them, okay, you should have this type of information: name, job, age, the place the person lives, and his physical appearance, and also his hobbies or her hobbies. So when I look at it, I can find all the information here, all the content. So I shouldn't punish my students or deduce his or her marks because of this kind of interlanguage speech. So this is telegraphic speech. So this is normal. So in the assessment of oral written process, my suggestion is that at A2 and B1 levels, I just, evaluate or assess their content, organization, vocabulary, and I ignore assessing their grammar
Yeah.
because it is too early.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've just, given, some rubric to the students that I'm going to assess them by means of this rubric. Content means he has expressed fully covering all content elements, completely relevant to the assigned task. And also I expect them to have facts, opinion, and feelings pattern. Organization, well organized and developed with cohesive devices. That's my expectation. And vocabulary, appropriate usage of vocabulary, fully relevant to the task. However, a few words may replace with the ones from L1. So even if they can't remember the word, they can put L1 words there because they want to accomplish the task. Task accomplishment is so important for them because of their motivation to learn. For example, as a student came up with this an exam, a paragraph like this, write a paragraph within 150 and 150 words. What did you do at the weekend? Let's just analyze the speech. Last weekend, I went to Ankara for see to my friends. My friend Shule got married last year, and now she going to go to Australia because her husband live there. On Saturday morning, I arrived Ankara. First of all, we had breakfast. Then my friend made Turkish coffee. When we drink coffee, we chatted. My other friends came and we ate dinner. Later, we went to out for drinking coffee. Ankara was really cold. I don't like cold, but it was very good with friends. When we came home, it was very late, but we didn't sleep until morning. So it goes on like this. Sometimes the student use present verb, but sometimes they use they dropped is. Sometimes they drop preposition or articles. I don't care. But when I look at it from content, organization, and vocabulary point of view, this is, yeah, I mean, they get the full mark. And this is very encouraging for them. They are learning and they can express themselves. So that's why I encourage the teachers to focus on content organization rather than accuracy. Accuracy will develop later by the time. Well, this is my metaphor. I'm coming to the end. When the students come to the classroom at A1 level, they are like, trees, blossom trees. And in the first hand, They just become, the first attempt to become a fruit. But these are A2 level students, A2 level learners. How can you expect them, juice, texture, appearance, that it will be, like accurate fruit. So that's why we just look at the content, and when you eat it, it is really sour. We cannot even eat them.
Yeah.
Then it turns out like a fruit. Aha. Then it's a bit pinky, but still it is hard. It is as hard as rock, which means they are at 1B, they are at B1 level. They can produce something, they have problems, but they are not mature enough to eat. Then, although they are in the same branch, some of them are really improved a lot here. But what about this one? Is it the lazy learner? No, that's the nature. Although
That's
they're exposed to sunshine, they're in terms of classroom. Although they're in the same classroom, they get the same input. They get the same practice in the classroom, but they improve independently and different from each other.
yeah.
So each person is unique, and we cannot expect all students to learn at the same pace.
Yeah.
And this is the expected one. Yes, wonderful peach.
That's the one
Also,
we are
peach is
after.
very.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is,
Yeah.
C2 level student. I
Yeah.
wish we could have all C2 level students, but it's the teacher who are like mothers to bring them up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, conclusion. Teachers should provide comprehensible input based on the level, needs, and interests of the students. They should be as patient as a mother in their development. And the teaching process should be based on integrated skills. Students should be provided constructive feedback based on their needs without destroying their self-confidence. And in achievement tests, oral and written production of students should be assessed based on their interlanguage level, and their production problems diagnosed through achievement tests should be handled with care without harming their self-confidence. And initially, the task should be at recognition level, and when the students have competency, we can test their production level. During the 6 stages of processability in interlanguage period, students should be encouraged to use the target language despite all accuracy problems without challenging and destroying their self-confidence. So let your students learn by trial and error. And our slogan in second or foreign language learning process is first content and organization will develop, then accuracy
I
will
see by the time. Yeah.
by the time. Thank you very much for listening.
I do appreciate your great presentation today. I think all the people here have enjoyed what you have presented today. I think also it's a new topic that we have been dealing with today. I've got a notification that we have only 2 minutes, and we may be able to rejoin if we have to. So if anybody would like to ask a question, please just go ahead with it.
Yeah,
Anybody has got any questions? Any questions
or comments.
or comments? Any questions?
It's good to have it all broken down for us carefully like that. It's been very interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Margaret.
By the way, Richard have been with us for a long time, but he is disconnected now, and I'm looking for him to say hello to him once more, because he has been through some hard time in the last 3 weeks. As I told you before, he has got coronavirus, and now he is pretty well. I've put his picture now, but he was wearing a mask, and he sent me a hello. And he asked me to pass his greetings to all the people here. So Richard is passing his greetings to you, and he's saying that he is pretty well today, but he couldn't join by asking or answering questions because he's still somehow not that fine to be able to go into the discussion. Okay, I do thank you all, and I do thank Turan for your great presentation. I think this one was a great one, and we all enjoyed it, and I think it was fruitful and beneficial for all people.
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate what you have presented today. Margaret, do you have any comments or questions?
Just as I say, it was very good having it all broken down in those parts, which was very helpful.
Yeah, I think it was very, very helpful, and even the way
I particularly like the highlighting of your paragraph. I think that's a brilliant idea.
you know,
Thank you.
Never thought of that one. No,
uh,
I